I'm Reece Stein at your leisure at Great Basin National Park, just across the Utah state line in Nevada, and home to one of the most spectacular mountains in the West, 13,000-foot Wheeler Peak, second highest point in Nevada, biggest mountain in all of Nevada, and something my brother-in-law Jim has wanted to climb for about 10 years now. And despite the fact that I let him drag me to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back in one day a couple of years ago, and then do a 14-miler through Zion just last Monday, I'm bound and determined to try to keep up with him again this time. So let's hit the trail for 13,000-foot Wheeler Peak. Because we don't have a required and expensive video permit, we'll tell this story with still pictures. We set up camp at one of the 3 developed campgrounds near the Wheeler Peak trailhead. Each has vault toilets, water, and fire pits, no hookups. We head out at sunup with 13,063-foot Wheeler Peak glistening in the morning light. The good news is you drive the first 12 miles to the trailhead at 10,000 feet elevation, so you only have 3,000 feet left to climb.
We knew we had a 4.2-mile hike up to the top of the mountain. We also knew the first half of it, we only gained about 600 or 700 of our 3,000 elevation. So while we enjoyed the first half of the hike, we knew that the hard part was coming.
The early light ignites late-season wildflowers, and huge bucks, their antlers in summer velvet, browse along the trail.
We saw, gosh, maybe 10 or 12 coming up, and I think 5 or 6 were bucks, and again, they just weren't bothered by us. I guess it's because they're in the national parks and they know they're not going to be hunted. So we try not to bother them.
The trail crosses above shimmering Stella Lake, leaves tree line at about 11,000 feet, then turns almost straight up the rocky ridge towards the summit.
I will say the Park Service has made a wonderful trail. And so we weren't doing the really steep short switchbacks, but boy, we were climbing. We made 2,000 feet elevation, I think in about 1.5 miles, and when you're at 11.5 to 13,000 feet, us senior citizens feel that.
You're really sucking air, won't you?
The altitude hits me especially hard at 12,000 feet, and we still have 1 mile and 1,000 feet up to go. Rock windbreaks provide a brief respite. Becky Bates, a marine survival instructor from Fallon, Nevada, blows right by us. And finally, after 4 hours, I drag myself past the 13,000-foot contour and sign in at the summit register. The views are, well, breathtaking if you've got any breath left. The rugged Snake Range slithers off to the south, while Stella Lake slumbers in the valley to the north, with only an occasional farm in the basin to the west.
The Wheeler Peak hike is wonderful. It's unusual in a lot of ways. First of all, you're out in the middle of nowhere. But you get on top and you're really proud of yourself until the 70-year-old comes up.
Wearing sandals.
Wearing sandals.
Yeah, 70-year-old Don Ashbaugh of Tucson and his wife Pam, clad in tennis shoes, are in training for a one-day Grand Canyon crossing. They are 2 of only 9 other hikers we meet on our trek, including this guy jogging up the trail, although he hasn't hit the steep section yet. The rugged beauty, remoteness, and vertical challenge make Wheeler Peak an incredible adventure.
It is a hidden gem, and I know that's an overused term, but more people need to know about Great Basin National Park.
Well, we made it. Not the easiest hike I've ever done, but certainly well worth its spectacular views from the top. Great Basin National Park is about a 3.5-hour drive from Salt Lake City. Plenty of great campsite, almost always available, and beautiful trails of any length for any member of the family. You don't have to climb to Wheeler Peak to enjoy this place. I'm Reece Stein at your leisure at Great Basin National Park.